everyone. This is Priyanka.
This is Pravalika. You guys are watching Girlfriends Unplugged.
So, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. Had a
Yeah.
rough day, very tiring day. But
hmm
yeah, I just had my dinner and just ready to sleep after this recording.
Yeah. So,
How was yours?
what mine is just starting, and this is
Oh
the best
yeah.
way to start.
Yes. I for a second I forgot the time difference.
It's fine.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about a topic that could be a little sensitive or
Yeah.
controversial, or I don't know. There's a lot of stigma around it.
Hmm.
So we'll talk about breastfeeding and formula feeding for our babies, right?
Yeah. And
Um,
just a disclaimer that we are not experts. We will just be sharing our own experiences, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm sure many of the mothers, they'll relate to both our experiences.
Yeah. Again, we both have different experiences.
Yeah. Yes. So I was exclusively breastfeeding my son for almost 1.5 years, and you
Hmm.
were formula feeding your twins
Yeah.
when they were babies.
Just
So
from day
right
one, we started.
from day
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So initially, I think when as soon as the babies are born, um,
Hmm.
until then the focus was on you. I mean,
Yes.
as the mothers, and immediately
Yes.
once the baby is born, the focus
Hmm.
is on them, of course,
Hmm.
which it should be.
Hmm.
And everybody around you is like totally obsessed whether you are breastfeeding the baby or not, right? The question mostly it comes from our own family and relatives,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's not even from outsiders, because outsiders at least they think whether they should ask or not, but relatives or the elders within our family, they just don't even think, and the first question they ask you when they call is not how you are. They just ask, okay, are you getting milk? Are you giving the baby your breast milk? I
Hmm.
don't know what
Hmm.
this obsession is about, and it has
Hmm.
been happening since my time. So it's been almost 3 years for me, and my friends have had their babies during this time, and before me, you have had, and recently also a few of my friends have had babies, and everybody like they have the same, experience of dealing with the initial days of questioning, and it's not just initial days; it doesn't even stop for quite a while. They keep
Yeah.
asking whenever they call, or even your own mothers or in-laws also.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It's not just distant relatives. Sometimes it's just unknowingly or
Your own.
knowingly, just mothers and even mother-in-laws or the in-laws. They just keep
Yeah.
worrying about, oh, the baby is not getting breast milk. Is he going to be
Hmm.
okay, or is she going to be okay? And
Hmm.
uh, their intentions might be good, but I feel that during those days, I don't know if everybody, like 100% of the women were breastfed their babies, but now they
Hmm.
treat it like like you're not a good mother if you don't
Hmm.
breastfeed your baby. There's a lot of this
Hmm.
judgment that comes
Judgment.
over,
Hmm.
and they just they make faces if you're not giving breast milk, right? Because I have seen this, but you tell me, how was your experience?
So, my mom and my Masi is like my mom's younger sister. They both actually came to stay with us a month before the babies were
Hmm.
born. Okay. And for me, this thing started from the hospital. And so day one, it was like day one early morning. It was a C-section for me. I think I shared with you. So the
Yeah.
babies were delivered, and the nurse, she gave they gave the first milk.
Oh, yeah.
The Yeah, so she did
Colostrum.
that. Yes,
Okay.
yes. So she did that, and day one I didn't realize anything. and I was, I was very, first of all, I was very happy and very relieved. So this was not even in my mind. The nurse, she only did, okay, whatever.
Yeah, because bearing twins the whole time was not an easy
Yeah,
task, and
yeah,
you must be like a heavy weight off of your body, right? That's one
yes,
big relief,
yes,
and you got
yes,
to see your twins. That's obviously the most
yeah.
happiest thing at that moment.
Yeah, and then you get calls from everyone, and there were a lot of people who didn't know that we were expecting twins actually. So it
Okay.
was only the close family, like close family members only they knew. Apart from that,
Hmm.
I didn't, make it public. Just so
Hmm.
from day to what happened, day to morning, I was like, as usual, I was in the hospital. They gave me the breakfast, and it was there, and I was like, okay, I'll have it in some time. And just after that, the nurse came, and then she started with the drill, okay, that you have to feed them. And if you like, as so in hospital you stay for 3 days. After that you come back home. So she was like, she was putting this pressure that here we are there to help you. And she was like, I'm not sure how you will, how you will feed your babies once you go back home. What will they have? And that, just at that moment, this guilt struck me, ki what will happen really if I don't have enough to feed both of the babies.
Both of
Since,
them. Hmm.
yeah, so that was always a concern for me. Okay, so
I can't
then,
believe the nurse said that.
yeah, yeah, and not just that, then there was this, she made us to join this breastfeeding sessions, which was okay, fine, that
Hmm.
she made us do that. But then she
Hmm.
forced us also to, with me it was getting difficult, because from day to itself, it's not a machine, that you can just plug in and play, right? Right.
Yeah.
So day two itself, she was like, okay, you need a breast pump, and you need to do
Hmm.
something about it. And it is costly, the breast pump also, that is costly, but still we went
Yeah.
ahead with that, because we felt that that must be necessary for the baby, and that
Hmm.
might help. And it did
Hmm.
help. It's not like that it didn't help, but it's just that the sheer pressure of that, you get
Hmm.
so stressed that.
Yeah.
And actually I started crying also, and then she realized what she did. Okay.
Okay.
And also, just after after you have delivered, your hormones are still very high, that you also know,
Yes.
because postpartum depression and everything comes from there, because you're hormonally still, you are
Exactly.
very high. The babies are
Correct.
delivered, all the focus is on the babies, and you just feel unseen, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's like
so,
they feed you like, just like a machine to just
yeah,
feed the babies.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like your
So,
job is just that.
yeah. So the pressure, for me, the pressure was first from the nurse, and secondly, it was also from my own Masi. Actually, there
Hmm.
were taunts, like when.
Okay.
So that was very very painful for me, because once I came back home,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I was trying, and
Hmm.
babies also, it's just, they, for them also, it's very new, their
Yeah.
digestive system is still developing. And no
Yep.
matter whether you feed them formula or you feed them breast milk, there's that curdy thing that comes out, right? They will
Correct. Correct.
sometimes have
Correct.
ingestion, they will sometimes feel bloated,
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah.
But she was like, I could hear her, and I was teary eyed. I was sharing this with my husband. So she was sharing with my mom that, every time the babies, they have her milk, they puke. And it just pierced my heart like anything. And I was like, still, I tried. So
Hmm.
from day one, they started giving formula, because it was not enough. We had two babies, and it was not enough for both of them. And every, like, not even 2 hours, sometimes even before 2 hours, they were like, they have this small stomach, they can have
No,
only
yeah.
this much at
It's
a
not
time. And
like they are
yeah,
fixed schedule, right? They drink
yeah,
whenever they're hungry,
yeah.
whenever they
So
want.
yeah, so from day one, they were on formula as well as breast milk. But
Mhm.
for 1 month, this is how we continued. Like, this is how I continued. And I don't know if I'm taking so much time because I have so many other things also. I have other concerns also. The other
Mm.
was I was not sure who is having how much if I don't
Yeah,
use a pump and if I
right.
try naturally also. So uh, the nurse, she was also of the opinion that, the pump is there to support you, but you try to don't use the pump
Feed.
and feed them
Mm.
directly. And if I tried that, my son, I remember, he would be very hungry. He
Mm.
would be, trying, but
Yeah,
in the
they get
flow,
agitated that they are not getting enough, right?
yeah.
Yes,
And he
yes.
used to cry a lot, and I used to feel so helpless that
Yeah,
I'm the source and I'm not able to provide him. What will he
yeah,
have? He's just a baby, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah. And
And also
it
at
it
that
was,
time, you can't bear your kids crying, right? But they're like so little
yeah,
and
so
your
little. And
hormones are at an all-time high. You can't see them
yeah.
cry. Or like, but you feel so helpless that you're not able to, do that because the society has brainwashed or they have formed this like a stereotype or a thing that the babies are healthier when they are breastfed
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
and that pressure obviously gets into your mind and in the initial days you feel like so uh, like stubborn or try a lot that you want
Hmm.
to give your own milk even
Hmm. Hmm.
though it's not
Well,
working out all the time.
yeah. Yeah.
That's there, right?
Yeah. And the other thing that I think I think you tried, you can share that better. Uh, that tongue got tied,
Tongue tie,
with,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, you can maybe share that better with others.
Yeah, my story is exclusively breastfed. I am absolutely not saying that it's like a piece of cake. It's not easy at all. Like when people, even for me, before pregnancy or during pregnancy, I always imagined like a happy picture of me breastfeeding with my baby, and I thought it would be easy and it would just come naturally because nobody told me that it would be so damn hard. Not
Hmm.
my friends who have had their babies because uh, they also wouldn't share this traumatic information with
Yeah,
with the person who's going to deliver, right?
yeah,
I don't
right.
blame them, but not even our families. They don't say how hard it is. Maybe they weren't allowed to express their feelings back then because maybe they just keep the baby at the breast all the time or they just gave bottled milk and they never told anyone. Who knows?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I always thought it was easy, but it was so damn hard. And on top of that, for me also, in the first few days, whenever my relatives or family called, they just asked casually, "Are you giving breast milk? Is the milk enough for the baby?"
Hmm.
I was very guilty that they were asking because initially for me it did not work out at all. And I was supplementing with formula as well initially. Obviously, we have to in the initial days because the science of breastfeeding is not something that I learned at that time, like how it works and all. I didn't know even how to use the pump also, and they say that the relatives like the mothers or the my relatives, they say that if you delay it and you're not getting enough milk within like the first 1 or 2 months, that's it. You won't get more milk later and your ducts will get dried up and you'll never be able to feed your baby. They just worry us even more instead of supporting and saying that breastfeeding or formula feeding, just feed something, feed
Hmm.
anything to the baby, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Instead of saying that, all these worries, that was not helpful at all. So I had to, in the meanwhile, obviously I had this severe postpartum anxiety, and I was like continuously researching about how breastfeeding works, what are the techniques, what should I do, everything. I didn't get proper sleep obviously during the newborn phase, but on top of that, whenever I had free time, my mind was entirely occupied with reading about stuff like how to make it work. what are the options to try, and the foods, various foods that we can
That you
eat
can eat.
that will boost our milk
Mm.
supply. Eat this, eat that, drink this, drink that. So yeah, I was eating everything, I was doing everything, and it was still not working. Because a few days after that, like almost at the end of 1 month, we realized that my son had a tongue tie, and we had to uh, get a mini, like a small surgery to where they cut that piece of tongue to release it, and then they will be properly able to breastfeed. So till that time we did not know, and until then I started learning how to use the pump, and I was pumping and also formula feeding. And then, but I always had this guilt, or the feeling that I want to directly breastfeed my baby. I It wasn't because of the influence of anybody, or was it? I don't know. But I felt like I have to breastfeed my baby, and I never gave up. Like I was pumping, pumping, pumping all the time till like 1.5 months, and then we did this tongue tie release. And even after that, it took almost until 3 months of his newborn phase for him to get latched to me and feed from me directly. So it
Mhm.
wasn't an easy task at all. And after that, of course, it was good for me, and he got used to it. But there could be like tons of reasons why your baby is not feeding from you. It could be that your milk is not enough, or it could be that the baby is not liking the position that he is feeding, or it's just that some babies are not um, used to that technique, right? Like sucking milk from the breast is not the same as from the bottle, and it takes
Mm.
for them a lot of effort,
Mm.
and so it takes a lot of time. And I don't know if mothers who have done from day one, it's well and good breastfeeding, but I'm all for mothers who are just decided to do formula feeding, and they don't give a damn about people what others are thinking. So I
Mhm.
always have this feeling that, so now I've like I told you, right, for 1.5 years I've breastfed, and the weaning was also as hard as how hard I tried get him to breastfeed. It was harder than that to get him weaned off my breast.
Mm.
And after that, I need some water, but
Okay. No,
after
no,
that,
you have.
it's okay. And after that also, now when he's almost 3, my kid, your
Mm.
kids, they're 3.
Yeah.
I'm sure both of them love chicken nuggets.
Oh my God.
So one goes breastfeeding, one goes formula feeding. All the kids, they again have this picky eating. They again have this food preferences, throwing things. It's so, I feel that breastfed babies are not like any higher or smarter, extremely smarter compared to formula fed babies. It's just millions of people are also doing formula feeding. So nothing is wrong. But if breastfeeding is working, well and good. If
Mhm.
not,
Yeah.
formula feeding is also good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how the nature
That's
is. That's okay.
yeah.
Your baby is well fed. Your baby is growing.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all that matters.
Yeah. You take a
What do
break
you
and
think?
have water. Have
What do you think?
yeah. So one thing is for sure. A lot of researchers would like they say that breast milk has some natural, what do you call them, antibiotics or something that would help them build their immunity, and which
It's more
I
nutritious, they say.
yeah, so which I'm in. Okay, but
Yeah.
what do you do if you don't have it?
Yeah.
What's the other choice? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the other choice? So then you definitely go for formula, right? And
Yeah.
either way, as we discussed, that it takes a lot of time and effort from both the mother's side and the baby side as well, right? Because
Yeah.
when they are inside, it's like they get it. I think naturally they don't have to put so much effort for it, and then suddenly they are out. first of all, they are also new. The
Yeah.
environment is new, and then they have to put so much effort or just to be fed. Even they are figuring out, right, as you said
Right.
rightly, how your baby also took some time to latch properly. And so for them
Yeah.
also it's really challenging, and it's really not fair to put so much pressure on a woman. Because see, historically, we might agree that women, they used to get married very early at age. That was one thing. Then food and nutrition wise, even environment wise, climate wise, pollution wise, it was way better. And
Yeah.
so I think they could produce it properly, or I don't know,
Yeah.
because I was not there. We were not there.
Yeah. Mm.
So my sister, she was very supportive. She stays in a different city, and she used to
Mm-hmm.
call me, and I used to crib up. I used to share all these things with her because I couldn't share with anyone else. And she was very supportive, and she was like, "It's fine. Your kids are having something at least, okay? And
Yeah.
uh, you see if they are growing properly, if they are gaining weight and all. Okay, you don't worry about the other things what
Yeah.
people are saying." And then I
Mm.
think 1 or 2 months later, when my husband was sharing, this my ordeal with my father-in-law, he was like, yeah, you guys also, your mom, she could only feed you for 4 months. After that, you were also bottle fed, and that was a relief. So from my in-laws side, I would say it was really a relief to know about all this. But from my own family, from whoever was staying with me, from those people, it was like not a very positive environment, because it was very stressful.
That's full.
Yeah, it was very stressful. And then I think at 6 months we have this ceremony, where we have this ceremony called rice ceremony, where we start
Mm.
giving them
Yeah.
solids.
Solids.
Yeah, I think that's when it improved, and I also started feeling better,
Feeling it.
that at least
Mhm.
they are having some food now which they can digest also properly. They were not puking so much, I think. As I
Mhm.
said, this indigestion, or this curdy, getting curd out, that's very natural. So I
Mhm.
think that was the moment of relief for me, that now that they are having rice and other supplements, it's fine, it's better. Yeah.
I feel so sad that after you started that, you feel relieved, but it should
Yeah.
have happened at a much earlier stage because there was no proper support for you to feel better.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I know that this is the case for a lot of women who are the first time mothers in our generation, at least, because our
Hmm.
parents' generation, rarely parents are very supportive about this. But there's at least one person in the family who, triggers this stress
Hmm.
and thoughts in her mind that
Hmm.
you're not a good mother because you're not feeding your
Hmm.
milk to the baby.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm happy that at least the group of friends that we have, I mean, at this generation, they are helpful when
Hmm.
when we have our babies. They
Yeah.
they are like your pillars of support all the time. They
Hmm.
keep motivating you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It doesn't matter whatever you feed your baby, breast or formula. Nothing is stopping you from being a good mother. It doesn't make you any less of a mother if you're feeding from the bottle.
Yeah.
Your baby is growing healthy and happy. That's all
Hmm.
that matters.
Yeah. Even I used to read those articles a lot,
Hmm.
breastfeeding versus formula feeding, because I was very scared that they are
Hmm.
not getting proper nutrition. Maybe their
Hmm.
immune system won't be so strong, and that was something that still bothers me. That if they catch cold, so
Hmm.
they say that up to 5 years they will be catching cough and cold like anything. They will pick as soon
Yes.
as they start going to your play groups, or they
Yeah.
start going outside, they'll pick up very easily. And when
Yeah.
they do, again I have this thought, that is it because they were not breastfed? I think
No. Stop, it's not.
Yeah, I know, but somewhere it still, it still triggers me. I still have this thought that if I had breastfed them, exclusively, or at least for,
Hmm.
6 months or something, uh, had
Hmm.
it been better? I'm not sure.
Hmm. I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, remember that it doesn't matter at all. My kid also falls sick all the time. He gets
Yeah.
every a new virus every month from his daycare.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the same with all the kids. It doesn't matter how you fed them. It's just that they are happy, they're healthy. The kids being kids, that's all. That's a, even they won't see the stress that we go through during that phase.
Mm.
Your baby is happy, healthy. The baby doesn't care what's happening around, whether you are formula feeding or
Yeah.
breastfeeding, and they are not the one to judge you when they grow up that you
Yeah.
gave me formula feed or you gave me breast milk. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
realized this very late that
Mm.
see, I go through so much of stress and I see his face and nothing matters to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't matter. So then I realized that okay, the things that he doesn't care, why should I bother so much? So I
Yeah.
stopped um, caring about what people around me say.
Mm. Mm. And this is
So
even after breastfed him
yeah, see,
exclusively for 1.5 years. My God.
yes, yeah, the taunts are
But
real.
the taunts are, yes. And that too
Even
from
I know,
your
even
own.
for exclusively breastfeeding babies,
Hmm.
the only solution or weapon
Hmm.
that people suggest to use when a baby is crying is give your breast milk or feed
Hmm.
the baby. Baby is
Hmm.
crying.
Hmm.
So it's like I understand that they might not know what happens when uh, during breastfeeding or how the milk supply gets started, what's happening around them. I think that they have no idea how it works.
Hmm.
Their
Hmm.
only
Hmm.
solution is just feed the baby, keep the
Yeah.
baby near your breast and keep feeding
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if they are crying,
So
it's
it's
only because they are
pointless to
hungry.
discuss. Yeah.
If they are crying, it means they are just hungry. They can't cry
Yes,
for
that's all.
anything.
That's all they can think of. So I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
that it's pointless to argue or
Yeah.
discuss the benefits or the drawbacks of these
Hmm.
things with them.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So we should just hear or just hear from here and leave it from here.
Leave it from the other ear.
Yeah, if it's not helpful, leave it. It is very tough during the postpartum, especially after delivery, to not take these things to heart. But
Yeah.
my only suggestion to all the new mothers would be that don't get so much stressed about these
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
especially
Only listen
feeding.
to people who,
Yeah,
uplift your
who went through
spirits.
it, and people who went
Yeah.
through it, who knew about it, they will, of course, obviously support you.
Hmm.
They will never judge you for,
Yes.
sharing your problems or doing or formula feeding or whatever it is. They will never
Hmm.
judge you. The right group
Hmm.
of people will never judge you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
don't shy away from sharing with your friends. Yeah. I know during my time, I didn't
Hmm.
share this with anybody. Like the
Hmm.
stress that I was going through, the anxiety that I was having, I didn't share this with anybody. And I'm
Hmm.
sure you didn't too, because I didn't know. I knew a little bit of this that you mentioned, but I didn't know the whole story.
Yeah,
So,
because you were pregnant at that time. Uh,
yeah,
so
I didn't want to share this
I
trauma.
didn't want to share this, yeah, with trauma with you, right? Because you were
Yeah,
in a happy place at that time that, yeah,
yeah,
you're about to deliver a baby. And, but later on, I think, later on also, you can't put it like this key, this is the best or this is the best. Because
yeah,
it's up to the mother only to to make
exactly.
up her
Yeah, it's
mind,
your
to come
baby.
to
You
terms
know how to.
with the fact. Yeah, to come
Exactly.
to terms with the fact that this is what I will be doing for my baby, because this is
Yeah.
what I feel is best. This is what is
Mm.
working out for me, right? It's very
Yeah.
subjective, it's very subjective. We
Yeah.
can't just throw our opinions on anyone. We can just share our experiences. I think that's the
Yes.
best way. That, see, this is what happened with me, and see if it works out with you. If not, then also it's fine.
Yep.
Nothing to, lose hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
what I keep sharing with my friends now, because
Hmm.
when they go through stress, I feel that there's no proper support for them to say that what you're doing is right, whatever what you're doing is okay. It's okay to take your time and figure out things.
Yeah, exactly. I think the mother also needs to be pampered because she's also recovering, right? It's not just the baby that, should be focused on. So, yeah,
Yeah, she needs more love and care, as important as the baby for everybody else.
yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, so we've discussed a lot in depth about the topic today. So friends, ladies, let us know your thoughts on what you think about breastfeeding or formula feeding. I'm sure a lot of you might have connected with our thoughts on this. So yeah,
Yeah, chalo. So we'll see you in the next episode. Please like, and, if you feel, please share it with your friends as well.
yep. All right, see you then. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye.